I'm Maddie, this is Paralysed with Love. Today I thought we'd talk all about my feeding tube must-haves, the non-negotiables that I can't live without to keep my tubey life easy breezy, keep everything running smoothly, or as smoothly as it can at least. So let's just jump straight into it. Before we start, I should probably explain why I even have a feeding tube. I have a condition called gastroparesis, which essentially means that my stomach is paralysed. It takes ages for the food to move through my stomach and my entire digestive system. So it causes just like a lot of problems and different symptoms and stuff like that. Over this last summer, so starting about Christmas time, I just fell really ill with my gastroparesis. I lost a lot of weight really quickly. I was super malnourished. I was pretty much bedbound, and I was just really unwell. So my team decided that it was time to give me a feeding tube. The feeding tube I have is called a nasojejunal feeding tube. So it bypasses my stomach. It starts in my nose, bypasses my stomach, and then ends in my small intestine. So my stomach doesn't have to do any of the work at all. There are lots of different types of feeding tubes and even more reasons that someone could need a feeding tube. So this is just my story about living with an NJ for complications of gastroparesis. So let's get started. These are some of the things that I found super useful as I've adjusted to life with a feeding tube, specifically a nasojejunal feeding tube. This is Tubius Hagrid, by the way. He is the best of all the wizards. If you've been around for a while, you know that my pump can be a little bit temperamental. It's super chunky, it's gravity fed, so it means that my feeds need to be above it at a specific height all the time. And I had a lot of trouble finding the right backpack to be able to move around with my feeds. I'm not joking when I say that I tried 5 different bags, including like a big bum bag, stuff like that. I honestly feel like I tried everything, and I was constantly having problems with my pump going off, and it was just the bane of my existence. This has been the best bag that I've found by far. I just got it off Amazon. It has a stiff back, so it's meant for like to be a cabin bag, and it's just really good. What I do in all of the bags that I have is just sew in, like these are shoelaces, but I sew in like ribbon or shoelaces, and then that's what I hang my feed and my fluids from while I'm running them through the day, because like I mentioned, the pump is gravity fed, so the feeds need to be above it. It's just the perfect height. I think it's like 41 centimeters. It's the perfect height for my feeds and the pump. It's the perfect size. It has a really good amount of like pockets and stuff like that, and it's honestly been a lifesaver for me. I'll link it down below. Obviously I'll link everything I talk about today down below in the description box, but yes, it took me so long to find tape that was suitable for my skin as far as like allergic reactions, and also something that stayed. I have absolutely no temperature regulation, so I can sweat at the drop of a hat or go to absolutely freezing, but it was a sweat that was a problem with the tape, obviously. So these are my 2 favorites. My ultimate favorite is called Sleek Tape, which is what I'm wearing at the moment. It is for me a pretty close color to my skin tone, and it's just so sticky. I was introduced to this by a couple of nurses back in the day. They actually don't use it at any of the hospitals here in Hobart anymore. You have to get it online. I think anywhere in Australia you have to get it online, so I got mine on Independence Australia. I'll link that down below as well, obviously. But yeah, 10 out of 10, couldn't recommend more. Super sticky, lasts like, I can go days without having to change it, which is really good for me. It's super waterproof. It's like a shiny, you're not gonna be able to tell, it's shiny. And yeah, love it. 10 out of 10, would recommend. The second tape that I really like is called Lucaflex. I think that's how you say it. Lucaflex. It is from the classic brand Essity, must be, but it's that classic one that you can just find in the chemist anywhere. It's also waterproof. It's clear. I find that this one doesn't stay as long, but I do find that it doesn't give me a reaction. So for some reason I can't use a Sleek Tape, I do use this bad boy. Probably 9 out of 10 would recommend. I'd try the Sleek Tape first though. Because the Sleek Tape, oh my gosh, I can't say Sleek Tape. because the sleek tape is so sticky, it leaves a lot of like the adhesive on my skin when I take it off. So I like to use these adhesive removal wipes. They're just easy to use. You honestly just like take a tape off, wipe these over, it takes the adhesive off. I know someone who has a stoma from Crohn's disease, so she also uses this. She actually uses a spray of this, which is how I got onto these for the adhesive there, which is obviously like super strong because you don't want that to be falling off in the middle of the day. So yeah, she uses that for the adhesive from the bags for her stoma bag, and she really likes it, so that's how I got into that. These are from Combatech. I've also used the Combatech barrier wipes. These ones are just one that I had on hand. They're from Welland. The No Sting Skin Barrier Wipes, I find both of them really good. Independence Australia is where I would go to get either of these. They have like the best deals, free shipping when you hit X amount, I think. Neither of these have given me a reaction. If you do have sensitive skin, I would probably recommend just buying like 1 or 2 first and then go from there, because it would suck if you bought like a box of 50 or 100 and you had a big reaction. So that's my recommendation, but I would definitely recommend getting a barrier wipe and an adhesive remover if you have any sort of like adhesive left over with your tape. I absolutely cannot recommend enough having like a little kit with all of your tape things and everything just kind of like ready to go. I have in here, I have the barrier wipes, the adhesive remover, all my tapes. I have little scissors, just some like sewing scissors, band-aids. I have super glue just in case I need to cover up a cut in my tube, lots of that kind of stuff. I keep it in my room, or if I'm going out and I feel like the tape could come off, if I'm just like having a particularly bad day or something, I take it with me as well. But yeah, it's honestly been a lifesaver. Like if my tape falls off or something and I'm just like feeling really stressed and rushy, then I can just grab this and I know that everything is going to be together. I'm not losing things with my awful memory, stuff like that. This one I actually got, the original bag that I got when I first had a feeding tube was a baby bag. This is like a bottle warmer, keep a warmer. And I just got it from there, but obviously just use whatever. I really liked the things that came with that bag, but unfortunately the bag didn't work. But yeah. Oh, definitely keep a mirror is very useful to have with that. I have this folder when I trot on it, so one side's completely broken, but it's the magnified side, so I don't really care. Big fan of just keeping a mirror with me so that I can see where the tape goes. Obviously, I mean, in a pinch you could use a phone camera, but a mirror is obviously better. Along with that baby bag came these straps. I think there were 2, and they were used to hold the baby bag onto like a pram on the back. Really love them. I'm assuming that you can just get them from baby shops, but basically I have to have my feed and water running during the day, so I clip them to both and then I strap it around a knob on my bedside table, and that's how I keep my feeds. I don't have like a pole or anything. I've got carpet in my room and I'm upstairs when the rest of the house is like down the stairs from my room, so it would just be really annoying. So I use this bad boy. It's nice and easy as well. If I need to go to the toilet, I just like pick that up and then hold the pump and I'm on my way to the loo. So yeah, I would recommend getting something like this if you can't fork out the big bucks for a pole, or you have some sort of like knob that you can put your feeds on while they're running, especially if they're gravity fed. If they're not gravity fed, you don't need to worry. But yes, 10 out of 10. When you have a feeding tube, you have a lot of supplies. Every month I get a delivery from the hospital with my feed, my giving sets, some 500ml containers, syringes. I obviously have the tape remover, all that kind of stuff. And I got these containers, they're all from Kmart, including the little clear drawer that I keep tape, enemas, things like that in. They have honestly just been lifesavers. Find whatever works for you in your space. I'm very lucky that my wardrobe has some shelves, and I keep one of those shelves is entirely my feed giving sets and the 500ml containers, and then I just underneath that have the little clear box. But yeah, they've been really good. Find what works for you. I've seen a lot of different setups. and I would be more than happy to do a video that's entirely about how I organize everything, because there's obviously so much that needs to be around you to be able to have your feeding tube running. So I'd be more than happy to do one of those, so let me know in the comments down below. It's super common to have like a really dry mouth and things, especially if you're not getting enough oral intake. So I got really dry lips to begin with. This is the best lip balm, hands down. Wait there. The brand is called Dermal Therapy. I'll do a bit of a... I'm a beauty influencer. I have a pot and then a little berry flavoured one that I take out with me that's got like one of those tops. And it's honestly so good. It's an ointment. Like, I would say it's an ointment over a balm, and it's really good. It makes your lips like shiny, and it's good. I found it to be really good for like my eczema and stuff. It's never flared anything up. In fact, if I had like an eczema flare up around my mouth, I have actually put this bad boy on, because I put this on every night. I've put this on the eczema, like kind of like extended it out over my lips, and it's actually helped it. So obviously stings a bit, but it works, and that's all I want, really. Speaking of dryness, I also got really dry eyes, and I know that that's really common, so I use the Hyalofort eye drops. They are honestly just so good. You press a little bottom and it comes out. They're expensive. I use the more concentrated version. There is a less concentrated one, which I know is cheaper, but I would really recommend them if you have dry eyes, uncomfortable, itchy eyes or whatever. I would really recommend them. I just got mine from Chemist Warehouse, which is where I got the lip balm as well. Yeah, they're great. I don't know what else to say about them. They're just a really good eye drop. Yes. To help with my dry eyes, I just keep mints, not my dry eyes, to help with my dry mouth. I keep mints in my bag, obviously helps with fresh breath as well. I used to chew gum, which actually also helped with my nausea. But after a while, because I was chewing it so often because my mouth gets so dry, I was honestly just getting such bad TMJ pain. And yeah, my jaw just was hurting so much. So I moved on to mints. It still does the same thing as far as like producing saliva in your mouth. And then they smell nice. I just get the Wrigley's Eclipse Spearmint is the only way to go. The blue ones are really spicy and I can't do that. So green all the way. I got this cute little unicorn drink bottle from Woolworths. It was on sale. It's the little kids one. I think it's like 500 mils, 330 mils. It's honestly perfect. I have a minimum, a very, very minimum of like a 3 kilo backpack at all times. So carrying my 1 litre drink bottle was death. I'm just not strong enough to carry that around. It really hurts my back after a while, especially because I'm on my feeds are pretty much all day, so it was just like too long. So this drink bottle was awesome. It keeps it cold for ages. It's from Quokka Kids. Yeah, like I said, I got it from Woolies, but I would recommend just getting like a small drink bottle that you can carry around with you. My bag has 2 little side pockets, so one of them I keep my EpiPens, and then the other, go back. The other, I keep my little unicorn drink bottle. Yes, I love it. Tissues are self-explanatory. If you have a giant worm in your nose, you will need tissues more than what you think. I like these Kleenex ones that are like flat because I keep it in the front pocket of my bag and I can kind of like go in blind and get one out without having to like undo those small packets. They're always on sale at Woolworths and cheaper than the small packets. Not Woolworths, they're always on sale at Chemist Warehouse and cheaper than the small packets. And they're Kleenex, they feel nice on your nose, which is also something I was getting home brand for ages and I thought, you know, there's no difference. And then when I went back to Kleenex or Quilton, holy guacamole, it makes a difference, especially if you're having to use tissues all day, every day. So do yourself a favor, get yourself, spend 10 more cents and get a nice thing of tissues. Your throat will get sore. It's kind of inevitable when you again have a tube running down the back of it, so you can actually see it down the back of my throat. think you could see that. These are my favourite numbing lozenges. I also keep them in my bag with me at all times. They're the Difflam Plus anaesthetic ones. The berry flavour is 20 out of 10. That's my favourite. My second favourite is pineapple lime. Also good, but I prefer the berry at the moment. They do a really good job of numbing everything, especially in the beginning when you first get a tube. Things like your nose and your throat will hurt a little bit more. So I'd recommend stocking up before you even get your tube so that you're ready to go. You don't need to like run to the chemist straight away. Yeah. Difflam also do an anaesthetic sulfurate spray. So basically it just goes like that and you just go, oh, spray it in. It doesn't taste as nice as a lozenge, but it's good on a pinch. Honestly, oh, it's watermelon flavour. I've never been able to notice that. I honestly wondered what flavour this is for so long. It's watermelon flavour. So it's not a bad taste, but it's not as good as the old berry lozenge. I got a numbing nasal spray from my doctor, so it has more lidocaine in it. Because my tube is so thick, I do really struggle with blood noses, blisters, irritation in my nose. And so I had to get the spray, which I'm actually out of. I'm restocking today when I go to the chemist. But it is really good. So talk to your doctor about a numbing nasal spray. When I really don't have anything, I use the numbing mouth spray, but it kills when you put it in. Like, it really, really hurts. Whereas the ones that you get with a script don't hurt as much. But yeah, just talk to your GP about something like that. The other thing that I got from my GP is an anaesthetic ointment, which, like I said, I get like blisters and stuff, so that's really important. And then Vaseline. Shove it up your nose. I don't know a nicer way to say it. Shove it up there. This does a really good job of just like lubricating everything, so you're not going to get as many blisters. This does a good job of calming down the blisters and stuff that you get from your tube. I know that people with smaller tubes don't get as much irritation, so it does depend on the actual thickness of your tube, like the diameter of it. And there are lots of different reasons that you could need different diameters. There's not one that's like better or worse or anything like that. Basically, it's just person by person. Last but certainly not least is butterfly clips. This is a little flower. My mum was the one that recommended this because my tube is very short. I actually have it up at the moment. My tube is really short, and because it's a bit heavier, it was really hurting my ear, weighing it down, and like pulling on the tape whenever it fell off because it was falling off a lot. And so my mum recommended getting these butterfly clips. I've since found out that that's what they use on some peds units when they have to have kids with tubes, which is really sweet. But I do it up. If I have my hair up, I just like clip it right where I have put my hair up with like the clip or the hairband, and it just works wonders. It's been an absolute lifesaver. I honestly cannot imagine having to sleep, especially without a butterfly clip anymore. Been so good. Also, the naughties are back, so I'm cool again, and we love to see it. Okay, I'm sure that I've forgotten something. I'm gonna think of it while I'm editing this. I'm absolutely sure of it. But that's all I can think of for today. Was there anything in the list that you hadn't heard of before? Or is there anything that you use as well that I've mentioned today? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm always up for learning new tips and tricks, and I love learning from you guys especially. Thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. I'm trying really hard to set a schedule. It is obviously a little bit harder when you're unwell, and I get a bit of imposter syndrome thinking that everything is really awful, but that's okay. If you liked today's video, then give it a big thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more and join the fam, then please click subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss any more videos. Have a great day, guys. See you next time. Life is tough, but so are we. See ya.